So we can imagine of a radio frequency. The radio frequency never goes off. But radio yako inaweza kuwa ifanye nini? I connect. Ama wewe mwenyewe hausikii. Why? What are some of the things that can make sure can make you not to hear your radio? Maybe you have it kuna radio umeshika kwa mkono hivi around that environment. Nini inaweza fanya usisikie whatever that is happening in that radio? Yes? Nini inaweza fanya usisikie anything? There's the background voice. So the background voice can make sure that you usikii anything. Another thing, hapo kunaweza kuwa congested that the network haifiki. It is the same thing that I'm saying. When your heart is distracted, God is not living. Or it does not mean that God is not there. It means that you cannot hear God because you are distracted. And that is the work of the devil. That is what he does. That the devil does not only use chains, but he also uses noise. And this noise will come in, for example, in the modern day, to Christians, it will come in what we call the social media. The other day I was going through my screen, na nikapata pahali inaniambia your screen time. And I was like, yani nimetumia more time in the screen, more than any other thing. Inaniambia 13 hours in the screen time. Now, wewe wakati uliamka asubuhi, honestly today, when you wake up very early in the morning, what was the first thing that you did? Was it praying or checking at the update? Yes? Yeah? You prayed. But 90% here, I'm sure, you checked on what? The updates. Then you also have comparison. You compare yourself with others. We have pressure, we have confusion, and others. But what does the Bible say? In the book of Psalms 46:10, yes, be still. So what is the request? Be still and know. Just be still and know that I'm the Lord. I'm the Lord. I'm the Lord. Isaiah that 15. In returning and rest shall you be what? Saved. Now, where are you returning from? You are returning from the chaos. You are returning from all the stresses. You are returning from all other burdens. That is the time that will be what? Saved. Proceed. In quietness and what?
Confidence shall be your strength.
Now, what will become your strength? It is your quietness and what? Confidence. Now, as I conclude, this is my simple, I don't have because of time. As I conclude, what is important is the message. Yeah? So, as I conclude, this is the thing, that when you want to listen to God's voice, your heart must be peaceful. It doesn't matter any problem that you are going through now, but you must retreat and try to get what? Peace. And try to get what? Quietness in your heart. And then that is where your confidence comes from. The first thing you must reflect. And this is what I always say. Of course, nowadays it is very hard because of this mitambo. But how many times do you sit down and think and reflect? Yeah? Because I am sure kila mtu anakuwa na mashida zake. How many times do you sit down and reflect where you are? Ile sasa honest. Unajua what happens is like ni kama mlevi, hata sisi kuna vitu zimefanya tulewe wakati kuna stress, you avoid that stress. Unaifanya hivi, unajisahau, unajifanya haiko, but the problem still remains. That is the case, huh? So wakati uko na stress, instead of facing that problem, you look for distractors, but the problem does not disappear. But when you sit down and reflect and honestly count your problems, you are not running away from them, because even if you run away from them, you are not solving them. So you are supposed to be very honest with yourself. You sit down and count that this is what is distracting me. This is the problem that I'm facing now, currently. And this is my strength, and this is what? My weakness. That when you identify that thing, that is when God comes. Because God will not come when they are what? They are caves. So you must sit down, search your heart, na uone, one, financial problems. Two, what. And then you, in that quietness, then you start having confidence. But that this thing shall be solved. This stress shall be what? Solved. But the first thing, you must know what is disturbing you, what is eating you up. You look at your weaknesses, you look at your strength. Then from that is when now you speak to God. And it is from that God comes. Are you together? And that's why I started by giving a simple analogy of a person who died, but he knew how to do what? To swim. Because wakati umeanza kudrown, what happens? You panic. And when you panic, hata mwingine ambaye atakuja kujaribu kukusaidia, huyo mtu pia mnaweza drown na yeye. So the first thing is that when you are in chaos, try to get peace first, and then God will come. Not even that God will come. God is there. God is always there. But in chaos, you cannot hear his voice. So let me stop there for today. Maybe if God gives us much more time, we will have more discussions about that. You have something? Yes? It was 1 Kings chapter what? 1 Kings 19, verse 11 and 12. One of you can read for us very fast.
11 and 12 says,
Yes.
And he said, Go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice.
Yes, you can hear to that. So this man of God, he was trusting in God. And of course, they were communicating with God. And now God says, now, I want to meet you. And he goes somewhere in a mountain waiting for God to come. And the first thing that happens is that there was a strong what? What was the first thing? Was it the earthquake or the wind?
Wind.
The first one was the wind. There was a very strong what? Wind. Then after that strong wind, there was again a very strong what? Earthquake. Then there was fire. But God was not there. So where did God come? The last part.
In a still small voice.
Yes, in a still small